Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. I specialize in games that can be played in 20 minutes or less, and this is my top 10 stocking stuffers list. These games all will fit into a stocking, and the list is primarily geared for children, but I really enjoy all of the games on this list and would happily play them, so they should work for adults too. Let's get started. First up, we have the Funko line of games that are specifically made to be stocking stuffers. They're all the same size, they all look like they're a little wrapped present, and they come out with a few new themes and games every year. We have played a number of these over the years. We've played 6 different games with wildly different themes and gameplay, and they've all been really good. They're all the type of games you can learn to play in about a minute, so you can get them out and enjoy them immediately. The new ones for this year are Rudolph Snowstorm Scramble, which is a cooperative game in which you are journeying with Rudolph, Hermie, and Yukon Cornelius across the North Pole. You're going to scamper through snowstorms to outrun Bumble, the abominable snow monster, and you're getting to roll a die, flip over tokens, and you need to be able to match them to move. Super cute. There's a Coca-Cola Polar Bear Rollers game, which is a push your luck game with dice. And then there is the Disney Muppet Christmas Carol Spirit of Giving game, in which you're trying to score the most points by making sets of cards. But there are a ton of other options that they've come out with in previous years, so just find the theme that appeals to you the most, but these are all surefire hits. Next up, we have the Game of Life Goals, which is one of the few non-holiday themed games on this list, but it's on the list because it's a newer game and it's based off of the Game of Life, which is just such a family standard, and it is also so quick, easy to play, and family friendly. The goal of the game is to get the most points, and you get points by placing down cards in front of you, and the trick is you have a lifestyle card you get at the beginning of the game, and the value of the cards you place down in front of you are dependent on that. So if you're family oriented or you're family friendly, then you're trying to place down a lot of pink cards because those are worth more points for you. Or if you're a workaholic, you're going to place down a bunch of blue cards because those are worth the most for you. But this game is so special because it is great for children who don't necessarily love playing a lot of board games. It is not highly strategic. It is more of a fun experience than a game. I have one child who is my most reluctant to play board games with me, and we've started playing this together, and she loves it because there are such fun game elements. When you place down a card where you now have a pet llama, you get to name the llama. If you place down a card that says, oh, I just learned how to play a musical instrument, you get to say which instrument that you played. And there's some fun sabotage that when we've played seems to be pretty lighthearted. Nobody's gotten hurt feelings over this. When we played, I flooded her beach house, and so that went away. But then she stole my pet rock, and I was devastated over that. So it's just fun, funny, easy to play. So if you're looking for a lighthearted, family-friendly game, this is perfect. Next up is Holly Jolly. If you're on the other end of the spectrum and would really like to have a game with a good amount of strategy involved. In this game, you're trying to get the most points, and you have a nice Christmas tree with ornaments, and there are presents and stockings underneath, and all you're doing on each turn is you're playing either a tinsel card or lights card on one of 3 spots on the tree. And the trick is whatever the total is of just whatever card you place. So if you place a tinsel card, the total value of all the tinsel on the tree makes it so you can pick one of the ornaments. So if your tinsel adds up to 7, you get to pick an ornament that has the number 7 on it. And either that's worth a certain amount of points, or sometimes it allows you to have an action like getting a present under the tree, or a stocking, which is secret. You don't know what it's going to be until you select it. And sometimes the stockings have really good items in them, and sometimes they have coal, which is worth 0 points, which just is really funny, and you don't ever know what you're gonna get until you select it because it's a secret. So it's nice because there has like a sushi go type of scoring where you have lots of different options where you're trying to make different card combinations or have the most of a specific type of card in order to score more points. So you have a lot of decisions to decide between, but the basics of the game are really easy. Just pick one of 3 cards and place it in the middle of the tree so that you can pick a card, which is really great. So simple rules, but good decisions to make. Next up, we have Santa Cookie Elf Candy Snowman, which is the holiday version of Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, a speed game in which you win by being the first to get rid of all of your cards. And the gameplay is unique from other speed games because the name of the game is the game. Every time you place out a card, you're saying one of the words of the game. So for the holiday version, if the first person who's played would say Santa and play out a card, then the next person would say cookie and play out a card. The next person would say elf. And then while the next person says candy, they play out a card and it's candy on the card. Everybody rushes to slap, and the last person to slap has to collect all of the cards. And this game is worth getting even if you have the standard version because there are different specialty cards in it and it's just so thematic. They've got a reindeer, drums, and silent night. Whenever you see one of those cards show up, you have to do a special action. And for the drums, you say a rumpa-pum-pum and you do a little drum and then everybody has to rush to slap. And it's just hilarious. So I don't know what it is about this specific game, but 100% of children who like speed games love this game, so the Christmas version just makes it that much more fun. Next up, we have Llama Drama Holiday Edition. Again, this is another game that has a standard edition, and then they came out with a holiday edition, which I really like, especially with these little card games. It is so worth it to get the holiday edition because they change a few things. There's a few more specialty cards, but it's still your familiar game that you know and love, but they've jazzed it up a little bit to make it more fun for the holidays. So the goal of this game is to be the first to get rid of all of your cards. And you start out with 3 cards face down in front of you. There's 3 cards face up on top of them, and then you have a hand of cards, and everybody's taking turns playing through the deck, and you're trying to get rid of all of your cards in your hand. And then after everything that's all gone, then you get to get rid of the cards on top of the face down cards. And then at the end, you have to flip those out without knowing what they are and try to be able to play them on people and be able to play them all and then win the game. But you don't know there's like a secret surprise at the end of the game, which kids love. And then there are these specialty llama cards, and in this edition, there's a baby llama, Santa llama, frozen llama, gingerbread llama, elf llama, and electric llama. And it's really easy because they all say what they do on the card, so it's very simple as you play. The elf llama, you get to discard the pile and go again. The electric llama, you get to reverse the direction of play, so whatever the person before you played for you to have to play on, now they have to play on. And if you play the baby llama, you're very nice because then the next player gets to play whatever card they want. But it's just really fun, really easy, and this is one of our go-tos to gift to people. My daughter's Girl Scout troop loves this game, and it's just easy, but lots of exciting things happen, and there's a secret at the end, which every kid loves, and it's just so lovely to have a festive holiday version of this one. Next up is the game 12 Days, which is based on the song The 12 Days of Christmas. It is very thematic. There are geese a-laying, drummers drumming, all of the items that you're hoping for. And the goal of the game is to get the most points. And you get points in a variety of ways. There is secret bidding each round on the day that is out. You start out with the first day, it's worth 1 point, and everybody puts a card out. And the trick is the lowest card wins the day, which is worth that many points. So it doesn't matter as much earlier on, but by the time you're getting to the 10th or 11th day, that's a lot of points and you really want to get that. So maybe you're saving some of your low cards for that later on. In addition to this, you get to pass a card each round, and the card that you pass matters because people are trying to score points by having the most of a number by the end of the round. So if I have 5 10s in my hand at the end of the game, and somebody else, the next highest is somebody only has like 3 or 4, I get 10 points. So you're trying to manage that as well. Win those points, but do it just as little as possible, by as few cards margin as possible, so that you can also have the most nines maybe, or the most sevens, and that all adds up to your score. In addition to this, the ones are Santa and Mrs. Claus, and if you win a day with one of those cards, the trick is you don't get to keep it. You have to give away those points to somebody else. So you have situations where people are passing around, I do not want Santa, I don't want to have to give anybody points, or somebody decides to play it, and then they get to decide what they did with it was the 7th day, so they have 7 points, and they get to decide who they're going to give it to. Maybe you're giving it to the person who seems to be losing, or maybe you give it to one of the people that are neck and neck and just throw a little chaos over there and see what happens. So there's a lot of fun elements, but it's just this simple, basic card game at its core, and it is a family favorite of ours. Next up, we have Holiday Flux, which is part of the Flux line of games. There are a whole bunch of these with different themes, and really what you're trying to do in the game is you're trying to fulfill whatever the goal is by having the correct keeper cards played out in front of you. But the goal can change. There are different goal cards that could be played out. The rules can change. There could be special actions. So something can happen where everybody has to discard a card, or something can happen where the number of cards you're allowed to keep in your hand changes, or number of cards you're allowed to keep in front of you. So it just kind of gently changes as you move along. It's very easy to understand. Some of the Flux games can be, they ramp it up and the rules are a little more intense. Holiday Flux is very mellow, very easy. So this is a great choice if you need a card game that works for a wide variety of ages and gaming abilities, but it's just very fun and holiday themed. This is perfect. Next up, we have the 12 Dice of Christmas, in which you are trying to win by being the first to complete your Christmas list, and you are doing this by drafting or selecting a die on every time it's your turn, and you get to combine all these different numbers to equal the numbers between 1 to 12 on your sheet. Whoever's the first to mark those off is the winner. I recommend a rule adjustment that we've made to this game to make it just a little bit more competitive, which is in order to cross off a number, it has to be from your active round, that turn, a die that you've collected has to be part of it. So if I can't wait till the end of a round and then just mark off whatever I want with the best combination of all those dice. If I want to mark off the number 4 and I've just selected a number 4, I need to do it right then. I can't wait till a future turn. Or if I want to mark off the number 12, if I'd saved a 6 another turn, then the next turn when I get another 6, I have to do it right away. So it has to be with a current active die. So that's my recommendation, but we love nice little dice games, and this is just so perfect for the holidays. Next up, we have Gudetama Holiday Edition. There is a standard edition of this game. It plays exactly the same as the Holiday Edition, but they change all the graphics on the cards, which are really cute, and so it's worth it getting this version just for that. It's a lazy egg card game, and the pictures on the cards are just pretty hilarious and very cute. The goal of the game is to have the least points when somebody goes out by getting 21 or more points and the game is over. And you play over a few rounds, and all you do is everybody gets a hand of cards, and if I play out a card that's like a 7, then the next person has to play the same card or higher. So the cards are between 1 and 14. I play out a 7, they play a 10, and if the next person can't beat them, they have to play the lowest card out from their hand, which is bad because you play through a round until everybody has 1 card left, and you play those cards out, and whoever has the highest points, highest card value, takes that card as their points for the round, which you don't want to do. So it's light. I feel like there's nice finessing of cards, but the strategy itself is not too tricky. Play the same or higher, or you have to play your lowest. That's all you have to know. But it plays up to 7 players, which is really nice, or especially around the holidays, and great theme, and it's just a fun, easy little card game. And finally, we have the Spot It games. They are on this list because the base game is just basically a speed matching game. You get your version of Spot It, and all you do is you place out 2 cards and you try to find the matching image between the two of them and declare it, and then you get to collect the cards and put 2 new ones out, and you're trying to collect the most cards. So it's just simple gameplay, anybody can understand, and it's fun, but there are so many different versions of this and so many different themes. If you are looking for, they've got Harry Potter, Paw Patrol, Squishmallows, Jurassic Park, Marvel, a bunch of different sports teams, Friends, Disney Princess, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Minions, and many more. So if you're trying to hit a particular theme, Spot It probably has it, which is fantastic. And you can get many different versions of the same game, and it's still fun. You can have 3 different versions of Spot It, and it's great. This is a great game to take to a grandparent's house for a holiday afternoon, for some screen-free options for kids. This is great to take out for restaurants. So this is really versatile. You will end up using it a whole bunch, and you can just pick your theme and you're good to go. So that's it for my top 10 stocking stuffers. Hopefully no coal in your stocking, just good games. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.